with the wonderful Suzanne Teng, and you are a very accomplished musician, a world flautist, and you play. Have you kept count of how many instruments you do play, or how many different types of flutes?
Oh, different types of flutes. Good question. I haven't counted how many types. I've got several hundred flutes, and a lot of them are repeats. But the ones that I play the most, I'd say probably 20 of them.
Okay, so you said you play about 20 flutes, and what got you playing the flute in the first place?
Well, I played piano as a little girl, and then I played the violin, and my older sister played the violin, and I didn't want to be second fiddle, and I wanted to go to a music camp, so I needed another instrument, and I loved the flute, and I picked the flute, and the flute became my voice.
And then so you played the classical flute first?
Yes, I did that through my 20s. I played in orchestras. I got my master's degree in classical music and never even touched a world flute. Well, I shouldn't say I didn't touch one, but it wasn't until my middle of my 20s that I got into the world of world flutes.
And then, so what got you started in the world of world flutes? What was that moment?
Interestingly, I was in Taiwan, and I was on a cultural program there, and one of the programs that we worked on through the day was music, and I was learning the dizi. And I had a flute that I played, and I learned tunes. It was fine. But then I had the flute back when I came back to Boston, when I lived in Boston, and an African drummer I became friends with saw my flute and said, "Would you play that flute for me?" And I said, okay. And I said, "I don't really remember my tunes," but he said, "Just play anything." And it really opened me up to improvisation and learning to just play from the heart. And it's something that changed my life, and getting into the African drums switched everything inside of me, and I went, okay, there's a whole other world out there for me, and it was incredible. It was enlightening, and that's how I began that path.
That's wonderful. So you got started, your first world flute was from China, it's called the dizi. And what attracted you to the dizi? Why'd you keep playing it? Because you brought one here today, and you're going to show us what exactly it sounds like.
Yeah.
So how did that bond
This
happen?
particular flute, it just became my spirit flute, and it's the flute that really opened me up to as I was mentioning, playing music that I felt and was inspired to play, not necessarily read from music, because my whole life I've been playing from sheet music. And so this is the flute. It's not the flute that's my primary voice is the alto flute, but this is the flute that I feel is the most expressive of who I am in my soul. So that's why I love this particular little flute so much.
And so the audience, I'm going to put some links in here for the rest of the music that you do play. But last question, so how do you balance between, all these different types of flutes? Because yes, they're kind of all similar as you're blowing air into them, but at the same time, there's a whole different style of music that goes with each instrument. How do you balance time between practicing and learning? How does that all work?
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, it's just kind of what, sometimes if I'm asked to do a particular flute or particular style, then I'll spend time on that, and I'll have to learn more about that flute than other flutes. Or if I'm in a setting where I'm with musicians playing those particular flutes, it's just kind of what the setting is, what's needed, what's inspiring me. Right now, what am I playing mostly? I don't know. It's just a kind of situational. Each time it changes, but it is a balancing act.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you balance it very well.
Oh, thank
you.
Like
I said, excellent performer. And so, would you like to show us what the dizi sounds like?
Sure. This is the dizi that I got from my teacher. He invited me as a thank you present, because I was giving him some silver flute lessons, to go. He took me on his motorcycle through Taipei, and we went to a music store, and there was a wall of beautiful dizis, and they're usually very ornate and decorated with tassels and poetry. This one, in those days, this is from the 80s. It was so shiny and beautiful and just so singular. It just stood out to me and said, take me. He said, pick any flute you want. So I took this flute. It's been through a lot, so it's in its mature looking stage. But I used the Scotch tape on this dizi instead of the traditional demo, and it's got a warmer sound. And when I play this flute, for me, it's just, it's a soulful expression.
was wonderful, Suzanne. Thank you so much. You guys can check out more of her music in the description below, and please do that. And thank you so much, Suzanne.
My pleasure. Thank you.